You. Well, some South Carolina lawmakers are calling a recent federal court ruling a victory for free speech.
But others fear it could have grave consequences on how much money can flow into South Carolina elections and the extent to which the public can know about it. State House reporter Mary Green has those details.
This ruling stems from a lawsuit brought earlier this year by the ultra-conservative South Carolina Freedom Caucus. It could have major implications for what goes on here at the State House and in South Carolina elections for years to come.
The ability for dark money to come pouring into this state has now been blasted wide open.
Under state law, there are 4 legislative caucuses or groups of lawmakers. These caucuses have certain privileges like campaigning and fundraising as a group, but they still have to comply with strict rules like disclosing who's a member and who's donating to them. There are more than a dozen other groups at the State House known as special interest caucuses, including the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. These are just some examples. While these groups of lawmakers can meet and vote together, they were barred from any activity as a group that would influence the outcome of an election or ballot measure, like fundraising and campaigning. Lawmakers who violated that part of state ethics law could face prison time or a fine. Earlier this year, the South Carolina Freedom Caucus sued in federal court, alleging this law violates their constitutional rights to free speech and equal protection. A federal judge recently ruled in the Freedom Caucus's favor and permanently blocked the enforcement of this part of South Carolina ethics law.
We did not ask to be treated any differently. We simply asked to be put on the same footing, and that's exactly what this judge did.
The lawsuit was filed against the House Ethics Committee, the group responsible for enforcing the ethics law. The committee held a meeting Monday to get an overview of the ruling from its lawyer, who says the implications are unclear at this point. But some members say while the judge intended for the special interest caucuses to be allowed the same privileges and operate under the same rules as the 4 legislative caucuses, only the General Assembly can rewrite the law to enforce this. The legislature is out of session right now, so ethics committee members argue that until they're back in session and can change the law, this means the Freedom Caucus or any other special interest caucus a lawmaker wants to form doesn't have to follow these ethics rules.
What is clear is that this does blow a hole, as was previously stated, in the law of South Carolina as it relates to dark money and money coming in. When 2 members of the General Assembly can get together and take cash donations in unlimited amounts and spend that in any way they see fit, that's a problem that anyone should see.
The House Ethics Committee has about a month to decide what it'll do next, with options including appealing to a higher federal court. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
And the Freedom Caucus says it's already started the process of setting up bank accounts with these new fundraising and campaigning abilities.